So you have mastered your MVO, your minimum viable offer and most viable offer. What is the next step? Because mastering your MVO is only phase one. And in phase one, you are better prepared to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, and move the client into action. But the next step is to move to step two. And step two has everything to do with mastering the art and science of commercial production and advertising copywriting. And here is where you're truly able to control visibility, reach, and impact. And with impact, you're better able to convert the ideal client, cash flow optimize, and build confidence, trust, and credibility in the eyes of the ideal client. The point I'm making, you may have a strong MVO, minimum viable offer, and most viable offer, and still fail if you do not understand the art and science of commercial production and advertising copywriting. So today I will spend some time doing a deep dive into this body of knowledge, so at the end of the day, you're better positioned to be successful with your business. Now, what is the art and science of advertising copywriting? Let us begin by looking at the art of advertising copywriting. The art is the repeatable tools, processes, and systems used to communicate information. And these tools, processes, and systems may come in the form of music. Music is an art form. Dance is an art form. Speech is an art form. Dramatic performance, all of which are art form. The important questions here is, how do you use these art forms to achieve a desired end result? How to use art to achieve scientific outcome. Now, what exactly is scientific outcome? We'll talk about that shortly. But this also has to do with the reason for using art and the purpose for using art. And these are two different things. The reason you use art must coincide with the purpose, the desired outcome that you want. We'll talk about that at a later date. But now let's look at the science of advertising copywriting. The science of advertising copywriting has everything to do with predictable outcome with the highest degree of accuracy. Now, what is it saying? In deploying advertising copywriting, it's not just to say I can produce ads for radio, television, and newspaper, but it's to say that you are producing ad because you have a desired end result, and you want that end results to be close to a scientific outcome. Let me give an example of this. Why do most people use antibiotic? Why do most people use Zaradol? And why do people use melatonin? Now, people that are using antibiotic, they use it because they have anticipated end results. They want results. People that are using Zaradol, they have anticipated expectations. And the person who's going to use melatonin, they're going to use melatonin because they want a better night sleep. So all of this is the end results in using a particular product. Now, can you think about this and see it in this way? The reason you're going to be producing the ad is because you have predictable outcome in producing that ad. So it's how to use art to attain predictable visibility with the ideal client. So there's a lot of work that goes into the commercial production. And I'm saying all of this because we see every year millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and possibly billions of dollars is used in the advertising process that doesn't deliver results. So I want to give some more information here on today's subject. Art becomes science when it translates into high reward, measurable results, and predictable outcome. And that is exactly what you want in your advertising copywriting experience. The big question is now, do you have such an advertising copywriter on your side to help you to leverage art to attain scientific results, predictable outcome? Big question for you to ask yourself. Now, to be able to effectively leverage art where it becomes science that delivers high reward, measurable results, and predictable outcome, you must bring yourself to this point where you're truly able to leverage data analytics in commercial advertising, commercial production, advertising, copywriting. You want to bring yourself to this point where you're truly able to leverage data analytics in advertising copywriting. Step 2 here again, you want to master psychographic adaptation to the commercial production experience. Last point here is to use cultural anthropologists to influence advertising copywriting outcome. Now, the cultural anthropologists, if you have never heard about these persons, these are the kind of expertise that you will need to really bring you closer, much closer to attaining high reward, measurable results, and predictable outcome. And this has everything to do with client conversion, cash flow optimization, building confidence and trust and credibility in the eyes of the ideal client. So this body of knowledge is something that your advertising copywriting team, your commercial production team, should spend some time to understand. Now, I'm going to give you the icing on the cake because we looked at two things so far. You have mastered your MVO, your minimum viable offer, and your most viable offer. Perhaps you have even mastered the art and science of commercial production, but there's something else that you still need to master to achieve your glory, your victory. And it's called mastering the art and science of media management, because all of this ecosystem influence the results that you're going to get. All right. And these things must work hand in hand. A strong MVO with high intelligence into the commercial production and super intelligence in the placement of your commercial that ensures that you're reaching the ideal client. So let me talk about this very briefly. What is the effective use of media? And in this case, we are talking about advantages and disadvantages of radio, advantages and disadvantages of television, advantages and disadvantages of the press media. Do you really understand all of this? All right. Again, if you don't understand this, you may be putting your commercial productions into this medium of communication that doesn't deliver the results. Our objective here is to give you the kind of information to ensure that you are able to make better business decisions that can save you money. You also need to ask yourself the effectiveness of social media. It's not just about putting the ad into the social media, but there are smart things that you can do for social media management and search engine optimization. You need to have all of this, the ducks line up in a row for things to work the way you want it to work. All right. In the developed world, you need to ask yourself, what is the best and effective use of the metaverse? Because a lot is taking place in the landscape of the metaverse. And if you do not pay attention to this, the possibility exists that your consumer base could be shifting here in significant numbers and undermining your consumer base. Because when they shift to this platform and you have other agents in your field that perhaps might be delivering quality products on par with you, or who knows, above your standard of quality. And guess what? You lose that entire clientele base. So understanding all of this is important. The last point I'm going to make today is your effective use of independent communication channel. And this is something for you to think about, because with independent communication channel, you have better control over this ecosystem. And that is food for thoughts. So I trust that you would have enjoyed today's daily nugget. And of course, we look at the importance of advertising copywriting and how to see this from an art and scientific perspective. My name is Gary Thompson, and it has been a pleasure being with you today. Remember to like, subscribe, and share so you will be the first to get these nuggets that we'll bring it to you on a daily or at least a regular basis. Be blessed and see you in the next broadcast.